What's up, everybody? This is a all-new episode of Weirdos at Home. Cranking them out lately. Last couple episodes, we had the hilarious Jack Neal. We had the Godfather of Central Texas comedy on, Jason Johnson. And now, finally, the mega powers have returned. I'm so happy to come on. Mr. Robert Huey himself. And for those that don't know, you probably don't recognize us. He's clean-shaven. I'm rocking the dirty Kevin Smith, and Rob deserves a Marvel deal.
Oh God, I almost got that.
But hey, buddy, it's so good to finally get you on.
I thought you had been recording from the very first moment that we started.
I know you were on your game.
30 minutes of stuff, and I thought we were recording the whole time.
By the way, solid 40 minutes on Janet Reno.
Oh, see, these are all things that people would probably like to have heard that we. Anyway,
I don't think so. I appreciate it, but I don't think so.
I would have been a lot more salacious if I would have known that the record button had not been pushed.
So. No, the way you know that is it goes, for all the asshole white men in America on Zoom, it goes, recording in progress.
Like, recording in progress. PC.
All right.
Everybody just like, ooh.
Well, I've noticed, Rob, that in the last week or so, HBO, I'm sorry, not HBO. This fucking drives me crazy.
It's the Max, dude.
That's what I'm getting to it. The night before the series finale of the biggest break we've ever had acting on film.
Dude.
And we were given very little to do, and boy, did we do a lot. I mean,
but we were in
John
front of stuff. Great perform. I mean, we were in front of some greats. Seriously.
I mean, dude, Lizzie Olsen has an open Marvel contract.
Oh well, God, it's a shame that I can't be married to her.
I don't think you want to be, dude. She's intense. You don't want that. You don't want to be. You couldn't. You didn't want to be like that.
Okay, maybe she's intense all the time. I don't know. I just remember whenever she was across from us and doing her character, yes, she had to be intense, and understandably so. And she pulled it off and just like ran with it and was phenomenal. But no, maybe she was like a little sweetheart. You know, maybe she likes to cuddle and stuff. I don't know. I like.
She lived in the Olsen twins' shadow. I doubt any of that.
Oh well, that shadow has dissipated. I think
it has. I mean, that shadow killed Heath Ledger, but you don't know that story?
No, I don't know that story. What story are we talking about here? I know who
Heath Ledger's overdose. This is not the first time this has come up on the show recently, actually. Heath Ledger's overdose. He was with the Olsen twins the week leading up to it.
Okay, and are they just like
they were hooking? They were his connection to all the pharmaceutical that he was doing.
Oh, so they have stock in big pharma? What?
No, I think they're just little drug monkeys.
Oh.
I don't mean that in a racial way.
Excuse me, I'm literally the size. I'm parched.
Like a good Tom Crowder Texas boy. I was very impressed with Tom Crowder's performance.
Hell yeah!
His getting ready for work montage was fucking sick on the last day of the trial.
One of the things that I remember when we were on set, and this is when we were in what was it, Kyle? You know, in the big studio, they turned in that huge fucking warehouse into a studio. Which, dude, sometimes I didn't know if we were actually in the place or if we were inside of it. It was crazy the way they did the set. Like I really thought it was daylight outside.
Right, when it's 10 p.m. and then you step out.
Yeah, but I remember him, Tom what's his last? Say again.
Tom Pelfrey.
Dude, he was so good because one of the things I first noticed is that he always led with his dick. Whenever he would walk, he would walk like dick forward, kind of like John Wayne, kind of doing that. And then whenever I saw all the previous filming that they did where he's in his office, he's sitting on, he's just like, makes it look so casual, but he's sitting on a desk with his legs open, or he's got one leg up and he's letting all of it display. And I think that was his decision as an actor, which is really cool because it developed his character. And I think it started to screw up his back. Do you remember whenever he was trying?
He was having back issues because of his shoes and because of the way he was walking.
Yeah, because
so interesting about you're saying the lead with his dick thing, which is as bad as SMU as it gets. But that that goes back to like those when you're like in early acting classes and you're doing those like body movement drills.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, what if you try to lead with your shoulders, lead with your belly, lead with your toe? But like you never think that that's ever going to be applicable.
But when it is because if you behave the way, you instinctively become that way. It's Anyway, he nailed his job. Like he fucking nailed it. And of course, Mac Astin, who is just fucking phenomenal.
Our Hollywood big brother, Matt Astin, if folks don't know, calls himself the product of Nick at Night. He's the son of Patty Duke and John Astin, with Gomez Adams and Patty Duke, who Patty Duke played herself on her sitcom.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. I mean, that's how big she was. They're the first people to do multiplicity or twins or whatever.
But but Mac was bad. I wish they would have. Gosh, I wish there were more of him whenever he was doing his not just his interrogation, but whenever he was talking to the jurors. I feel like I remember there was more filmed and there wasn't
walking up and down that jurors row. Yeah.
Dude, whenever he I love it. Whenever he puts his hand like on something, like he's such a little smart ass. Like when he does it, he like puts his hand, boy, I wonder, it's like, yeah, brother, kill it.
He did some really genius stuff, like those little moments where he starts to say something.
Oh yeah. And you're like, oh, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Yeah.
I mean, I gotta say, after seeing the real clips, HBO is putting out, I'm sorry, Max, back to my opening complaint with this episode was the fact, and this episode of Weirdos at Home, not Love and Death, is the fact that they waited until the night before the series finale to then change the entire branding of the network to a defunct jerk-off network, Max, and the catchphrase now is "Your HBO."
I didn't know that. See, that's how inept I am when it comes to shit like this. So what did they do?
So HBO, all the old school HBO stuff will still say HBO before it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're on the app and you want to go find like Sopranos, you go to like the HBO section. HBO will still be a channel on cable playing that old stuff. But as far as the streaming network goes and the big network, it's now going to be Max, which HBO is doing Cinemax a favor by buying up the movies they have.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, it's just that David Zaslav guy who also saw the Batgirl movie that everybody said Brendan Fraser would have won an Oscar for playing the bad guy. Shelved it, and now this is his next great idea is we're just Max. But then the catchphrase is "You're home for HBO."
You're home for HBO.
Well, why it was already
Why isn't it just HBO? Why does it have to be Max?
It'd be like going, you know what? We're not ESPN anymore. We're Fox Sports Southwest.
Yeah, Fox Sports Southwest.
Well, your place for ESPN. I mean, I can't even come up with anything that matches to it. It'd be like Nike being like, "We're Fila now."
Hey, I still think Fila's cool.
Did you watch the? Did you want not to get completely sidetracked? Did you watch the Air movie yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I
it's
haven't.
good.
And I know you keep yelling at me about it, and I know I will eventually. Maybe
It's
we should watch it together. But you
it's
just
a
can't.
great
You
flick.
just can't
It's
talk.
you know, I made a joke before I saw it saying only Affleck and Damon would be able to take the Michael Jordan story and make it about white guys in an office. And I watched the movie and I was like, and I watched the movie and I was so fucking offended by the end of it being like, they made
Really?
it about white guys in an office arguing. You don't even
No.
see Michael Jordan.
No.
You see his mom and she's all tough and that's kind of like the big obstacle is the mom. And Jordan casted her himself.
Okay.
Marlon Wayans is great in it. Chris Tucker's great in it. Jay Moore's great in it. Jay Moore looks
Damn,
like
I like all three people you just said.
Jay Moore looks like he ate Bob Sugar in this thing. But Affleck and Damon are doing their Pepper and Schultz thing. You know.
Yeah, tell me more about this whole whatever footage. So you said HBO did some Jack Pepper and some Schultz, all that stuff.
So they're looking to like maximize, you know, all the side stuff and all the extras. What used to be DVD extras, right?
Right. Yeah.
So now there's a podcast that Leslie is on half the time for each episode.
No kidding.
Which I haven't gone back to listen to, but I'm gonna go through with a fine-tooth comb to hear about Pepper and fucking Schultz's performance. I had some goddamn Brando scenes.
Why? Because I have like the script pasted on my shirt so you can know the lines.
Well, lucky for you, Jack. I don't need to know any lines. By the way, continuity. Did you notice Kalachi Lady was gone and replaced?
Yeah, Kalachi. I did notice. I was looking like I was like, wait a second, where is that fucking Kalachi bitch? And they circulated her out. Like she was gone, and the next lady came in. I think she got fired too because she looked like her. Dude, that is such a great fucking story. Kalachi Lady. We met this woman as she screams at the people because her kolache isn't warm enough and her coffee isn't hot enough. It was just.
Hang on. I'll give you even more setup to it. You really had no interest in putting yourself out there with extras craft services.
Well,
no, hang on, and that's fine. And that's fine. And you were focused up. We still thought you were going to get lines, and we still like you're staying in your zone. But it being the good time, like, come on, man.
Like, you were the best there.
You were just like, I mean, it was your stage. I think that was your stage. I mean, we were on stage in front of cameras, but I think that was your stage whenever you'd go out there and just fucking ham it up and kill it.
Oh my God, when they made me cut 600 extras at lunch that day.
I wish I could have seen that. I still love hearing that one.
Like, to Alexis the PA go like, hey, I don't want to cut. So could you I literally asked her like a child, I was like, could you walk me up the front? And she just looked at me like, you're almost 40 years old.
Can you hold my hand while I
that's what I was asking her. I was like, do you think you could walk me up to get my lunch? And she literally goes, hey guys, it's Sarah Slater's playing Bill Schultz. He's gonna cut all of you.
God.
Kalachi Lady threw a big fit, but it wasn't. By the end of it, it wasn't the original fit that she had chewing out the poor PA film school PA. It was the fact that how did the word get around? Was it through us talking shit, doing bits about it, and then somebody took it personally? Was like, we're gonna go talk to her.
No, I only did bits. I was never talking shit.
Well,
you know me. I still sat in the corner and ate my pistachios and my little bird food.
You were the did you
Oh,
talk?
I wasn't throwing anybody under the bus and stuff, but I think what's crazy is they fired the wrong lady first, and she was screaming, crying, going, "Why are you doing this to me?"
Oh my god, I can't even. Whenever what was her name?
Cat,
Who?
cat.
Yeah, Kat. When she was describing what had happened, I mean, it sounded like it was traumatic. And then the pictures that they showed, where
No, but the
her
pictures,
hair,
the angry
lady's
pictures
hair
were the
was
real
like,
Kalachi lady the next day.
yeah, they didn't get exactly that. That's
The
the
first
weird
poor
thing.
lady they just put on a bus back to Georgetown. She goes, "Why are you
Why
doing
are you
this to
doing this
me?"
to me? Why are you doing this to me? And then the real, actually evil person, they finally ousted her. Like they finally called her out. Man, and she's the one who really threw the fit, because that's the one with the pictures where she's just like her hair is flailing and she's
Those were crazy. And you know what? If that had been a production run by a bunch of male PAs, they would have kept her around. They would have been scared of her. If it was dudes in their 20s, they would have been scared of her. But because it was like tough fucking film chicks, they were like,
yeah,
"Get the fuck out of here."
yeah, yeah. No, but they were polite about it. They did it with class. They did it with dignity.
Yeah, we see these photos and she's all screaming in their fucking mouths.
Yeah, and that's the reason why the picture was there, was not only so they could show other production, but they're like, okay, so this is what we're walking up on, and when it gets bad, well, I wouldn't fuck with Kat. I wouldn't fuck with any of those chicks. They're the sweetest people in the whole wide world, but I wouldn't push them too far.
I just love our luck that by the time you see the thing, we do pull off. I was very pleased with some of my moves. At one point, I think I pointed this out to you, but I'll say it now on the show. At one point, Tom Crowder decides to get up and pop off the defense attorney, and I had this real nice Brando move where I closed my notebook to be like, "What's this guy got?"
All right. Yeah, let's say, okay, let's see. Yeah.
I love seeing you and I's little fucking whisper sessions.
Mm-hmm. Dude. And what was the guy's name who was supposed to tell us shit, and he just
Eric?
kept walking and just saying, I wish I had something to say, but y'all are killing it. So
Well, there's
yeah.
Barrett, the head PA, who's like the head PA and everything in this town, and then there was Clark.
Oh, Clark was badass. Clark was cool too. Both Barrett and Clark were amazing. Clark was
Clark was the fucking
he was
cool dad.
like doing the assistant directing thing. And he was in that show you told me about. It was with John Goodman and
It's called Alpha House on Amazon. It was Amazon's first original show.
oh really?
John Goodman basically plays he's basically the former Nebraska football coach that won a bunch of championships, ran for Senate, won, just beloved in his state. And I want to make sure I give the guys credit. Clark Johnson plays like the cool Obama senator. Like, and not even quite Obama. He's cooler than Obama. Like, he's like the young black senator who's like, he's always got some scheme going, kind of. But I mean, he was an incredible director. He fought for his vision, dude. He was the one who wanted everybody to be able to get up and give their case. Because stupid Tom Udashian or whatever was like, we never got up.
You're not allowed in the state of Texas. You're not allowed to approach the band. You're not allowed to do this. And I remember fucking Clark goes, but what if I fucking want it to be that way? And like, well, it's not. He just looks at us like, this is not. I don't want this. I could be better. Like, why are you putting handcuffs on me?
Well, right, and we're not here to do a reenactment.
Yeah, but they hired what's his name, Robert whatever, and
Udashian?
Yeah, and so they must have.
Do you think he was a paid consultant?
Say again.
You think he was a paid consultant? I figured he was just hanging out one day.
No, oh, I knew he was paid. I mean,
You think so?
it was evident. Yeah, it was pretty evident because he's sitting back there with everybody, and yeah,
Leslie and Sunday and
and well, and he looked very, very comfortable. So that's how I know people are getting paid well whenever they're sitting back with other people, kind of rubbing elbows, and they look very comfortable. Unlike us, who just keep getting moved from one area to the next. That was great, dude. We're sitting there in one spot, and then like the next day, they're like, "No, you have your names on the chairs. We're gonna move you next to like all the stars." And then we get there for like 10 minutes, and people are like, "Why are you here? You need to move back."
so the folks that know another story.
They told us to sit
The
here.
folks that know another story watching this, it goes like this. First day, Rob and I don't have chairs. Rob finds a folding metal chair. It's 4:30 in the morning. I go like,
Yeah, pretty
cool,
much.
dude. You couldn't find me a chair? A PA overhears it. PA goes, who are you guys? And we're all frustrated. Like, I'm Jack Pepper. Bill Schultz. That's who we are.
That's who
Well, the
we are.
PA just trying to do his job to the best of his ability, shows up with names on the back of the chair like any other cast member, sets them down. So then at one point, it is literally Animal House's Bruce McGill. You may know him from every action movie in the last 30 years. Patty Duke and John Astin's son, Mac Astin. Bill Schultz, Jack Pepper, Elizabeth Olsen, Jesse Plemons.
Yeah. And there was about what? How long? How long did we last there?
Maybe like, to say 20 minutes would be a stretch, I think. I've thought about it. I still can't figure out what got us busted. If it's when we were like, I know, right?
Because we weren't being like acting up or
I
talking
think we
to
couldn't
everybody,
believe
trying
it.
to get people's attention.
No.
We were just kind of sitting there minding our own business.
But we
Casual
were trying. We were
conversation.
no, but you have to acknowledge we were definitely being like, I know, directors, right?
And then they come and they go, hi, my name's so and so.
Who told
Why are
you
you
that?
guys sitting here? Like, well, because they moved our chair here. That's why. I mean, I didn't do this. They're like, oh, we're gonna need you to come back around here. We've got another spot set up for you guys.
So if you watched Love and Death the last month or a month and a half, it was on the house that's on the slope. Alan, no, not Alan. What's his name? Pat Montgomery and Candy Montgomery's house is on a little slope. Well, they did the front of it,
We're like,
and we sat there on that fucking slope
angle.
for fucking 3 weeks until they got tired of us and moved us back behind the courthouse.
where we were sitting level, and then they moved us back around the other side, where that's where we closed. We were on the other side, like the
Well, they had all the hair and makeup women basically babysitting us.
yeah, so keep an eye on these guys. Don't let them wander off too much.
That is not a good plan. Like, do not put us there to fucking show off and do bits for hair and makeup women. Like, we need to see them intermittent. We need to stop by. We work really well with them when they stop by and get us cleaned up. If we're literally sitting there with them, we're fucking.
It's all shtick. It's just nonstop.
And to the point it got dark.
Yeah, and when that's when some that's when some of the makeup ladies were like, well, maybe we don't all have to sit here. Maybe I'll just go back to the trailer
And lock the door.
we had fun. Everybody laughed.
No, everybody laughed. It was an incredible experience, and I think it would have been a worse. We would be worse off if we had been like super duper leads in that thing and had like a lot of dialogue out of nowhere. Because imagine the fucking big asshole heads on us right now going to this writer strike if we had both gotten to deliver like huge monologues. As dope as it would have been, we weren't ready for that
I
shit.
like that imaginary. I like that imaginary thought.
No, I know you do, and I like it too. I like the sequel where we're still working for Tom O'Connell, and we fucking get back to work on Monday.
I like the spinoff where what happened to Schultz and Pepper, and O'Connell, and like where did they end up?
So in that extra that Max extra thing they're doing where they show the real clips, I saw Jack Pepper. Dude, he was so much goofier than they ever could make you look. Like he was like a Sandler character almost, like Henry Winkler. But then Mac Astin's character, Tom O'Connell, the DA, boy, they nailed him. I'd never seen him before.
Really?
He's a little chubbier than Mac, but I mean they fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
And still, we know that's not an amalgam. The universe refuses to let me see a photo of Bill Schultz.
of Schultz.
You're not going to hurt my feelings, guys.
Just show me. I need to know.
I noticed. Did you think that the very last scene of the last episode was a reshoot where she goes to the house? And also, did you notice that Alan Gore had sex with that one dirty blonde girl, and then all of a sudden quit wearing a suit to court? There was a blonde girl who lived in the neighborhood with the blue eyeshadow who started out bringing him meals right after Betty got murdered. Then she starts hanging out at the house. Then it's clear they fucked. Then he shows up to court with like a fringe fucking Woodstock jacket on and shit.
That's right. Oh, yes. Okay, I remember. Dude, Alan Gore was a piece of shit.
I mean, what a fucking chicken shit, right?
Total pussy. And the way that Jesse delivered it, he's like all meek and mild, but obviously, well, he must have been very devious and not maniacal, but devious and
slimy.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish Jesse's a fucking incredible actor, and he has the best agent in the world.
He did a great job. Whenever he made his decision to do the character he did, the way he wanted to do it, he did a great job. A friend of mine who was actually a nurse that saw Candace.
No, you told
whenever
me
it happened.
Yeah.
She and was a part, not so much a part, but she was a part as far as the time she grew up. She was around the time, and she was a nurse who did the X-rays and stuff like that for Candy. She did witness Alan Gore in real life, and she has told me numerous times, she's like, they should have chosen somebody different because it's not the way that he was. But
anyway. You mean like he was like the real Alan Gore was way sleazier?
I don't know. She just said it was a poor choice.
We put together over here at the Slade Davidian's compound over here, found out Tara's dad worked with Alan Gore.
No shit.
Yeah, at Texas Instruments.
As big as Texas is, it's kind of small at times, isn't it?
Very much so. Rick Perry's running for president. I want to get off the love and death thing because everybody knows.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about that. Yeah.
What are your feelings about that?
I don't know, because he's kind of a little bit of a different Rick Perry, but he's still, I don't know, man. I still got some room to make for this guy. And Biden is so old, dude. Man.
Well, here's the thing: is I don't think Rick's running because he has a shot. I think Rick's running to cause a ruckus.
So there's a strategy here.
Like he wants to be one of him and Chris Christie want to go after Trump and make sure Trump doesn't come close to winning. So they're going to spend their entire campaigns beating up on him.
Okay, well, that works for me.
It's so crazy. It seemed like Rick Perry was like the most irrelevant fucking dude in the country right now.
Did he talk about like using psychedelics like microdosing or anything like that?
Yeah, no, he's on full fucking Malibu. Yeah. He doesn't wear cowboy boots anymore. They're bad for his back. He's open to mind altering experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go, George. Talk to me, baby.
I'm thinking June 9th when Robert Hugh's hosting. Heavy on the impressions. AK and phone it in. Phone it in. Phone it in. Phone it in.
If you've got one, then just go ahead and bring it in.
I think the bit that I'm really going to go off on is do you know who Tom Hanks's next door neighbor is in Malibu?
Tell me.
Sorry. Barack Obama.
No way. He's for real, for real?
Yeah, they got to be friends when through the campaigns, and Hanks would do the voiceover work for all the videos and stuff. And he moved out there, and now you've got fucking come on. This is all for dinner. Not rocking away. Oh, come on.
Oh, come on. Bosom buddies. Come on.
You can't do that. We don't do much.
Wilson.
You gotta call Joe.
No.
You can't do that.
Yeah. Never mind.
And then you get look. Tom, I have appreciating being your next door neighbor for longer than I can remember.
For longer than I can remember.
But I'm going to call you when I get back home. Do not reach out to me.
Michelle will have something that she's probably going to talk to me about. But Tom.
Oh, you know, Michelle and Rita Wilson are over there drinking wine together, just gossiping.
Dude, I don't know what it is, but Michelle is like the hottest chick in the world.
Okay, let's break that down. I had this conversation with somebody last night. Is it the class? Is it the wisdom? She didn't want Obama to run for president.
Yeah, because she watched what the fuck was going on whenever her husband was dealing with it. She was like, "Nah, that doesn't look like it's any fun." No, for like with me,
she hired him. She hired Obama at the law firm in Chicago.
For me, like, because damn, Michelle, she just carries herself a certain way. She is she's like strength, she's confidence, she lets go, as far as like, I mean, she can be goofy. I bet she's got a great sense of humor, but
she does Fallon and she does all the shows and fucking,
but she's also so fucking smart. And I'm sorry, man. For me, like, actually, I shouldn't say I'm sorry. I don't apologize about any of this. She's a black woman, and I love black women.
Well, everybody always says Rob Huey and Robert De Niro. Watch how it goes. No, but I think there's something real because there's stories that have come out where Michelle really didn't want him to ever run for president, and when somehow he pulled it off, then she had to go like, well, I'm stuck with this shit for 4 years at the least.
Or at least 4, yeah.
And it all went well and everything. She had a great tongue-in-cheek attitude, but that there were moments, being that Obama grew up. I was having this conversation last night with some literally a kitchen full of women of color who were fucking fired up, wondering when and why. When is Michelle going to run, and why hasn't she already announced?
Yeah.
And it's just, it comes down to, I think she's, and tell me if I'm wrong, from the way you see it, she's too classy to do anything disrespectful to Jill or Joe Biden. Like to step on their toes.
Gosh, see, I never would that wouldn't have crossed my mind. In fact, I would think the other way, where Jill and Joe would be encouraging and be like, "Yeah, you're
I don't know.
it,"
I agree with that,
because
but
they're
the
all
timing is so
right?
fucked up. Because you got
Say again, I'm sorry.
Kamala. I said that what the problem is the timing gets so fucked up because then you have Kamala.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no doubt. I have no doubt Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and George W. Bush's first pick to run and win is Michelle Obama.
Yeah, and George W. would, like you said, George W. would be about it. He'd be like,
he
"Hell
adores
yeah,
that.
I'll jump on this."
He adores that woman.
He does. He flirts with her. He tries to do anything he can to touch her.
Yeah, but it's like that weird uncle kind of hitting on you, where you're like,
Yeah.
But the thing is also too, there's this deal where Obama having Michelle and Barack, this was always tension between them. If you read any of the books or the front line, any of the docs, Obama always struggled with trying to figure out how to be a black guy in America, having grown up in Indonesia and Hawaii, raised by white parents and white grandparents. Whereas Michelle grew up with like
not all the way
kids.
black, he's not all the way white. He's got some Polynesian. This poor guy, he's trying to figure it out.
He's an earthling if he's anything. But the fact that Michelle grew up with like 10 kids in 2 bedrooms on a good day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, on the south side. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, they were dirt poor, dude.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so she came up.
I mean, it's not cool, but it just builds more of her. It builds more for my understanding of her character. There you go.
Right. I mean, there were moments like if you read these in-depth books where she would turn to Obama and go like, "Why would you get it? You don't have any slave blood in you." And like any good husband or boyfriend or partner, when to not clap back.
Oh, yeah, you just sit down and go, "All right, baby. Yep, in fact, I'm sorry I said baby. I love you, baby, because you are my baby and I love you, but I don't mean it."
Somebody pointed this out last night at this thing, this get together kind of little hangout we're at. If the whole country to some extent is convinced that Michelle Obama can win as soon as she announces, doesn't Michelle Obama know she can win as soon as she announces? Like, hasn't she been privy to polls that like data that we don't get? They don't just throw it out there.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because they're privy to a lot. Yeah, I got you.
I can't see Trump making a run again.
Who?
Exactly.
Sorry, something popped up. I'm on my phone. So you said you don't think Joe's going to run again? I thought he was.
No. Joe's definitely going to run, and I hope it's a whole side thing from what I was going to say. But the Joe thing is so tricky, Robbie, because he's so fucking old, but he's such a good person.
Yeah, see, that's just it.
But he's such a good person, you don't want to root against him.
Exactly.
But he gets to a point where, like, you're old.
And that's going to play against him. I mean, his mind is still all there and everything else. But every time I see him speak, I'm like, people are going to pick on that.
Yeah.
People are going to pick on him because he did this, or he looked this way and then he looked that way.
Seemed old and weird and old and frail and weird. And
instead of like with Trump, when he would just say bullshit, and you're just like, this guy's a complete fucking fool. Like, it's so easy.
It's because real Republicans are ride or die with their people, with their candidates.
The whole loyalist thing blows my mind. Like, how you can just go, no, it doesn't matter what it is. I'll fucking suck their dick. Fuck you, you bitch. Fucking do what's best for the future. Quit thinking about yourself all the time. You're not going to be here.
We're doing what's best. We're doing what's best.
All that.
It rattles my cage. I tell you
Well,
that
so you know,
right
it's
now.
fascinating. They did that CNN town hall, and Tara and I tried to watch it. Trump did a CNN town hall like a week ago. Flipped out, admitted to hiding all of the classified documents. The U.S. attorney in D.C. now says he has enough to arrest him in June over what he said, because the final piece of evidence was in that town hall where he's like, "You goddamn right, I take it with me. Of course I did. I can take whatever I want. I can take it with me if I want to take it with me. It's not up to you. It's up to me. We'll take it with me. We'll take it with the action thing." So he's gonna get arrested like 3 more times this summer.
Great. And meanwhile, all the fucking assholes, the idiots, the fucking loyalists, the jackoffs,
Here's my question to you.
It didn't matter to me.
Here's my question to you. Because we can waste our time talking about comic book movies and pretend like the future isn't coming down the pike. But we do that too often on this show. It's time to get real.
Let's get real.
Yes. What I have always struggled with Trump supporters, especially once shit has gotten bad, especially since January 6th. What are you there for? Like, what is the platform? Just we're so goddamn stubborn, we're not going to quit on this asshole. Like, he's our third grader and fucking coach pitch, and we're not going to quit rooting for him.
Well, I think the thing is that they don't want to admit that they're fucking wrong.
So they're just going to rock it to the grave? They're just fucking...
Yeah, no, they're so simple-minded that they don't have any class that they can't admit. It's like when you get in an argument. It's like, I'm sure the majority of their marriages are probably going to fail, if not just be poor marriages. These are the people who...
That's the nicest thing I've ever heard you say about the Trump people.
Is that they're just belligerent. They're too hard-headed to admit whenever, like, I mean, the ship is sailing. The ship is, I mean, the ship is sinking. The ship is not sailing. The ship is sinking. The ship is sinking. No, it's not, because I told you it's not, and I know the best thing. Well, you don't know the best thing. In fact, you're a fool, and you're fucking everybody.
I just don't understand the policy, because I read the other day he put out a big policy platform of what he'd like to do. And Robbie, it was damn near fucking Hitler-esque, Mussolini-esque, of like federal government control for the president, down to firing fucking post office mail carriers he didn't like.
Well, because when you have control of the mail, you have control of information. Information is
100 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a coward, and everybody that represents him and stands behind him, they're all cowards and they're bullies. And
Chris Christie's getting in. He's announcing on Monday. Chris Christie is, just to go in there and beat him up.
And Chris Christie is no star as a human, but if he can fuck up.
Well, remember we were talking about like what's your obligation is to history? I think Chris Christie at this point goes, guys, I went along with it last time, and boy did I look like a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
So if he can come out early, because I mean he was one of the greatest shit talking politicians.
And spiteful. I mean, he shut down the whole bridge because he was just like, "Oh, I don't like this guy. Let's fuck with him."
There was a Democrat like 2 towns over. He didn't like killed him, killed Nemoz in that fucking traffic.
Let's fuck everybody up.
There's nobody outside of Trump. There's nobody running to win. They're running to kamikaze. I guess DeSantis, but he's a huge fucking puss.
They're all cocksuckers. They're all just they're and spineless, man. They're like they have no morals. They just do. I guess they just keep following the carrot, and I don't know who's got the carrot. but they just keep fucking going after that carrot. And it doesn't matter if they ruin the world around them. They're just gonna fucking go. They're cowards. Ugh. And the people who vote for them are.
I would say a Republican Party that's pushing like real ideas and a Democratic Party pushing real ideas would be the greatest situation for this country. What if it was actually a conversation about fucking policy?
If we actually have a conversation, if we actually communicate instead of going, no, I'm on this side, you're on that side, so whatever you say, I don't like.
Automatically,
you say, well, I don't like that. Just and before everything got like so distant as far as you didn't have to actually meet in person. Whenever politicians had to actually meet in person, like, okay, you had to fly up, you had to whatever, and meet and delegate and do all that and
go to dinner, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, when we had to do it in person, things were at least a little bit better. But now we just do it from afar, with a Zoom or just just phone it in, like calling in.
I blame Paul Ryan when he became Speaker of the House, when he took all of the old school whiskey and like bourbon schooners and decanters out of the Capitol and replaced it with promotional fucking Monster energy drink refrigerators.
He must have endorsed Monster and they just sucked off of him. Or he sucked off of them.
I mean, don't you think there's something legit to be said about like back in the day? And I know we always, every generation romanticizes shit from before their time. But there's something said about like, whether it's Reagan and Tip O'Neill or Lyndon Johnson and fucking Nixon having a fucking scotch and going like, people deserve better.
Yeah. Ultimately, you're on the same page. Like you're reading one thing and the other one, and then once you start to say, well, I saw it this way, well, I saw it that way, then you go, oh, okay, well, in the middle, let's meet in the middle. And now whenever you're from afar, that interpersonal does not exist, and that interpersonal is absolutely 1000% human.
Which is so funny. We're just talking about John Goodman and Clark's show on Amazon. That's what that whole show was about.
Really?
It was 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans living in a house together.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about it. I haven't.
The whole thing was like them having to not just be bipartisan at work, but to fucking survive on like the electric bill.
Damn. Yeah, you put people in situations like that. Guess what? Doesn't matter which side of the fence you're on, you got to survive together. And yeah, that's awesome. That's I need to entertain that show. I need to watch it.
It's such a weird place that we're at, where I don't know that. You're one of the most intelligent dudes I've ever met on any set. I worked in politics far too long after it was clear I wasn't good at it.
You probably were really good. You just didn't have the best opportunities at the time.
Well, I think I was good at it and I had the mind for it, but I don't think that I was. It was like I was playing in the wrong generation.
Yeah, maybe the timing wasn't right.
Yeah, whatever. The point what I'm making is what is it gonna take to fucking just have people sit down again and just go like, fuck all this shit?
Just fucking everybody sit down in a room, close the door, and then, look, here's the deal. We're talking about it. Let's figure it out.
I mean, if me and my brothers were arguing about something when we were kids, my dad would legit lock us in one of our bedrooms and go, I don't want to hear a word until y'all figured it out.
Yeah.
Like whatever the negotiation was about, like who had the Sega Genesis in the room this weekend. I don't want to hear a word until it's fucking over and we have a grand compromise.
Right. And that's 16-bit at the time.
Right.
Sega 16-bit, bro. I mean,
I got one right in here.
I was a Sega kid. I wasn't. I started with Nintendo, but I always went Sega.
Sega was, it was so much more fun.
I thought so, and I
It
liked
seems
the
more high
controller.
tech.
Say again.
I don't know why, but it seemed more high tech.
Well, it felt that way. Yeah, for sure. It felt that way as a kiddo. You're like Sega. Like, I mean, fuck yeah. And the way that fucking that Sonic came off the fucking board and the screen, you couldn't. Look, I love Mario Brothers, and that was what 14-bit or 8-bit, but anyway, 16-bit with Sonic the Hedgehog. It's fast and everything. Oh man,
Have you
to me
seen
that
this Mario
was
movie that
it.
everybody's raving about?
Do what?
Have you seen the Mario movie that everybody's raving about?
No, I haven't seen it, but I see a lot of like pop-up ads and things like that.
I don't know how it made so much money.
They made a lot of money.
It's the highest grossing movie of like the last 10 years, dude.
Are you shitting?
Yeah. Just fucking it. It's Chris Pratt doing Mario, Charlie Day's doing Luigi, Jack Black is Bowser.
Wait. Is this like a cartoon or is it like real life, like people doing
No,
stuff
it's
in front of a green screen?
it's totally animated. It looks like the video game.
Fuck that. See, that's why I would never watch it because it's not. Nah, I
You
can't do
relate.
it, man. There's just too much fucking AI bullshit and too
Well,
much.
hey, before you go off on that tangent, let me ask you this because we haven't had a chance to talk about this. There's a writer's strike going on right now,
Yeah,
a big one.
and Mac even mentioned it to me via text. We were talking about. He didn't say too much. He was like, "But once this thing is finally dissolved, we can start creating."
Right.
Anyway,
Lord knows
I've got you.
well, Lord knows he's a guy who grew up in the studio system. I mean, literally grew up under the studio and network system.
Oh yeah.
But then got to do a very cool indie movie where he did have sex with Carmen Electra. He did not deny that to us.
Wait, what?
Remember Tara brought up we were at your house and we did the
That's right.
we were like, did you? And he was like, look, she's so talented. And it was always awkward when I saw Dennis Rodman at practice. You're like, you're at practice? What do you mean you're at practice?
He's fucking Mac Astin. He's so cool. Oh, I gotta tell you, he went on a tangent because I asked him if he knew who the Man of Steel was in regards to baseball. And dude, I got like 5 like bam, 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 bam long messages. It was so cool because he answered and like I just spit some stuff out there. But whenever he got to talk about Ricky Henderson, did you know that Mac Astin was a switch hitter because he grew up loving baseball, so he was a switch hitter. And he said whenever I was batting right-handed, I tried to emulate Ricky Henderson. When I batted left, it was Will Clark. Like,
Yeah.
Could you ask for 2 better fucking great bastard motherfuckers right there?
Well,
I
I haven't talked baseball with him. I didn't get a chance to talk Lakers with him, but last I talked to Mac,
oh yeah,
our movie big brother, who was kind enough to fucking take us under his wing.
he did.
I asked him. I don't know if people know this. I'm a huge Marlon Brando fan.
Can you show me a little Brando real quick?
Well, you know, when I first decided to go ahead and do what it was a project that we knew would be against so hard, but we knew it would be something.
You gotta get some cotton balls. Let's shove them in the side.
If we truly were, well, you're going for Godfather. Georgie's Godfather. Fucking step it
Do
up.
you actually
Yeah.
have cotton balls just like right there next to you? Oh my God, you're a
Here we
fucking
go.
psycho. You are a fucking psycho.
Here we go.
And make those cheeks chunky. Come on, I want to see some chunky. I can't believe you fucking have fucking cotton balls. You're
It's
fucking...
tissue. It's tissue paper. It's tissue from a.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, either way, it's drying your mouth out, so that's what I wanted to see. All right, here we go. What are we doing? All right, and let's see.
I mean, but I decided to take the pride in the sisters issue. It's already been a show. So I knew it was always going to be a challenge. It wasn't until I met Mackenzie Astin and Jack Pepper portrayed a close friend of mine, Rob Huey. And it became clear to me that we were going to have something special. He came to me on the day of the Rob Huey podcast. He asked me, but one day I don't have like 6 cats in this room. That's it, guys. Scene. We can all go home now.
Oh, you have to say scene. Yeah, you got to do that.
I'm sorry. Anyways, I went down I'm a huge Brando fan. I love that.
Great job.
You don't have to do that. I love that he was cool, that he was fat, that he's cool, that he's fat. I mean, he wasn't always the guy. But he at one point was in a movie called Candy. Candy
With John.
With John Astin.
Third John, apparently, as Max says.
I hasn't. So I sent the poster to Mac and I go, hey, I want to track this movie down. And he was like, I go, dude, do you remember your dad hanging out with Brando? And he's like, man, I gotta tell you, I don't remember them being pals. Like I don't remember them like hanging out, but I don't think Brando hung out with a lot of people at that point. He's like, but you know who my dad got to be good buddies with was the other co-star, Ringo Starr.
Wait, who?
A young man in a little band called the Beatles, Ringo Starr.
Ringo Starr. Oh yeah, the Beatles. They had some popularity at some point. And
he starts coming over. Ringo starts coming over to the Astin house while he's still a Beatle and eating mushrooms and smoking weed.
Wow.
So
That's so cool.
Mac straight up remembers Ringo Starr showing up all peace and love, peace and love. Is your dad here? I'm here to hang out tonight. And fucking, I mean, that's so fucking dope. And he goes,
Dude.
The name of that movie is Candy. And he wrote us back, he wrote me back being like, yeah, my dad and Brando were both inside Candy.
To be able to say that, yeah, my dad was chums with the Beatles or with just the drummer.
Well, how about like worked with Brando, but like they weren't super close. But you know who he was close with?
That's great. Yeah. So you know who he was actually close with? You ever heard of Ringo Starr? The fuck.
Right. While he's still a fucking Beatle.
Well, he's still a damn. That's fucking rad.
I mean, that's what I don't get. I don't mean to like harp on this shit on this episode, but it's fucking fascinating. Mac can be any kind of regular guy.
Yeah.
Like having had that life.
Yeah.
You know, and here's the thing is, as guys, we never get into the Patty Duke shit with him. That's a whole other thing.
I know. Yeah, we haven't, and I kind of feel like
I'm not comfortable to.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things that if we do, we need to be like closer with him.
Right, and in the same room, probably.
I don't know. I just don't want to. I don't know.
What's crazy
Parents
to me
fuck
is like,
you
dude,
up.
the whole,
You
dude,
know,
the whole
parents
time,
fuck you up, Sam.
my
Parents fuck you up.
I know. My mom pushed like mental health awareness my whole life. You're like, don't you realize if you hadn't fucking not acted right, I wouldn't be in this situation. But she always pointed back to Patty Duke being the first one to ever acknowledge publicly her struggles with mental health.
Oh, really?
She was like the first big TV movie star that like came out and wasn't like not the half-ass shit that Brando did, where it's like, yeah, you're obviously somebody's fucking with you, you're crazy. But like she came out,
Well, he's going over to other people's houses so that he can eat everything in the refrigerator.
Stars just size prepare myself, I'll get to away.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Anyway, Patty Duke, and your mom.
I know, no. I mean, typical Texas mom. And this will get me back to the story that we started the podcast because I wanted to make sure to tell it. My mom pushed Patty Duke's book on me like my whole life, and like I think you'll get a lot out of it. And you're like, as a dude in our generation, you're going like it's a sitcom chick star from the fucking 60s and 70s. Like,
Yeah, and so we immediately shit on it. Yeah,
right. But we shouldn't. But like when you're 17 and 18 and 16, you're going like, the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
But it was real. And the irony is that then I get to work with Mac and he couldn't be sweeter. My mom, first day we're on that set, my mom was having heart surgery. Mac's like, somehow he asked what we were talking about. I brought it up and he was like, hey, let your mom know.
He did.
Remember that? First day.
Yeah. And then he also said happy birthday. What did he say? Happy birthday to Tara? Or he said,
Dude, fucking called Tara the last night of shooting.
Yeah. How great is this dude?
Dude, I mean, the nicest ever. Smoking out of his smoking out of the original John Astin Riddler fucking cigarette holder.
Oh, wow.
That like the crazy long one, like
Yeah.
But what I was getting at was
like
Mother's Day. Tara and myself and my mom and my stepdad are doing a little brunch that we put together at their place in South Austin. And my mom at one point turns a corner and she's got a big new purple vase and it's got a cover on it. And she goes, hey guys, guess what this is? We're like, I don't know, it looks cool. Where'd you get it? She's like, it's Bo. That's my grandmother that died like 3 months ago.
Oh.
But there was no like pomp and circumstance. What I don't know. But the point was, is she goes, I mean, it was pretty funny. We were pouring the whole thing into Kathy's half and my half. The two sisters who are still alive, sharing Bo's ashes into two different urns. And then a significant portion spilled all over the counter. And my innocent stepdad from Chicago, he's from like John Hughes, Chicago, like an 80s movie Chicago, was like, what should we do about that? And Kermit Woolley goes, hell, she's not gonna know.
I thought somebody had snorted.
I asked. I would go, really nobody did rails of Bo? But I thought it was so charming that the guy who does all the family eulogies and all that shit was just how is she going? She ain't gonna know.
Bitch is dead. God damn, man. It gives a shit.
I mean, it's not like she's showing up. Hell.
How dare you?
Would you rather be, we're gonna end on some heavy stuff. I got some heavy questions for you. Would you rather cremation or burial?
Cream.
Yeah. And then put where? On a shelf in the ocean in the space?
I don't know. Just dump it somewhere.
Dump it.
Don't.
Rob Huey call back. And that always works for me. After I ate like 5 plates of stroganoff, he'd be like, dump it. I was like, no, I don't want to.
Hey, stroganoff, dump it.
Stop.
They really thought I was picking on you.
What's
like
the, I
I
thought
was
about
a
that this
bully.
week, the big finish of Love and Death. How many of those people, crew, are turning to their husbands in like LA or New York and being like, that one guy was really fucking giving that guy a hard time. Like we almost said something to HR.
He was such a bully. He just kept picking on the fat kid.
You know what? I'll take full responsibility for that, for being in that van. Nobody ever said anybody was a bully until I was like, he bullies me.
No, but it can't. And I went with it because it was a great bit, dude. It was such a great bit. I didn't care if they disliked me, like I was some prick.
Oh my god,
I
it's
just
so amazing
went with it.
because you're all, are you gonna act up on Monday? I was like, no. You're like, oh,
Dude,
you
it was
better not.
a
You
great
better not. I was like,
bit.
I won't.
It was a great bit. Those poor girls, they're like, my God, why is he being so mean to him? And why does the other guy keep talking to him? Like you just, it's like I keep fucking abusing you, and you just keep going, no, it's okay.
Do you think I can have a stroganoff tomorrow? No.
Shut up. God damn it. You keep
Do you
talking.
think, okay, can we at least say that you think Lars, one of the best makeup and wardrobe people in the business today, do you think she got it? She knew what we were doing?
I don't know. I just remember everybody was on your side, and I was sitting off. And you know, it's funny. It's so perfect. I was sitting at the front of the bus, and you were at the back.
Surrounded.
And I was just like talking.
Surrounded.
I was talking back to you.
I was surrounded by the sisterhood of the traveling fucking.
Yeah, exactly. And every time you'd say something, I would just shit on it. It was perfect. It was a great bit, dude. Like, and you played it perfectly.
But here's the thing: is guys like us, we don't think that that's going to end up in a meeting.
Yeah, you know, we could have both. I could have been fired because of it.
They could totally. They could have recasted both of us. Just like we don't want to deal with either one of them.
That's great. That's great. Why'd they kick you off? You were there for 3 weeks.
I think Lars knew his bit. The rest of them I can't speak for, but I think Lars.
Well, and also you have to admit, like whenever we were behind the scenes, you know, back there, we were very chummy, and we invited other people to.
Well, what was cool was that there were some people we were comfortable enough to open up with, like, hey, this is our first time doing anything like this. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like Larissa, who we felt like our little sister, who we were like, we're kind of fucking freaking out.
She was awesome. She was so fucking awesome.
She's doing big shit this summer. She's going off to London.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's
Lars did Twisted Metal that's about to come out.
Dude, she's so fun.
Do you remember the video game Twisted Metal? PlayStation, it's like crazy car, like Demolition Derby.
Oh yeah.
They did a series out of it.
No kidding.
And she was one of the head makeup people, and you got the crazy clown and all the different characters.
No. Oh, so she got to do some really cool art, like some really
cool like horror stuff. Yeah.
Foundation and some.
Not just like pulling cheese off of our faces.
Sam just had a double breakfast. He's got a little bit of cheese in.
I'll tell you what, that's again another Brando connection where I'm like, I think I'd be an asshole not to have the working people breakfast, and then obviously the meat should have the real breakfast.
What are you doing? Oh, Mr. Slade, I guess you had did you have double breakfast? Of course, I wouldn't have double breakfast.
Full Brandon just fucking.
And then I'm next to you in the makeup chair going, this fucker. And they're like, Mr. Huey, did you have breakfast? No, of course I don't eat.
They'd bring you something in like a fucking in a catering box.
Here's your bird seed that you requested, Mr. Huey.
No. You take advantage of it. I think this is As Howard Stern would say, Robert Huey, I think you've done it all. You've said it all.
I say a lot of things. Hey, you know what I've been doing all morning before we leave?
What are you doing? Was that whippets? Or just blowing up balloons?
I just like the sound of farts. I think farts are hilarious.
That was hilarious. That's why that was so weird because that fart sounded like somebody talking.
I was talking. That wasn't the balloon. It was just me.
No, I'm getting messages from the balloon.
No. I'm learning how to imitate the sound of farts and balloon farts.
And
So
then
pretty good.
What do you use this skill for later?
For my own, it calms me.
It calms you. That's the safest answer ever. Is that helium or is that just your own hot breath?
My own hot breath.
I like that. I like that.
I know. I'm quite talented. All right. Well, Samuel, you be good, brother. Are you going to come over?
I got to talk to the better half, and I'll get back to you.
Well, yeah, just let
so
me
much
know,
fun,
man.
man. It's great having you on the podcast. Hey, June 9th, Silver Spoon Dinner Theater, big stand-up show featuring myself, Jack Neal, Jason Johnson, Devin Powell, and a couple of very special hosts. Rob Huey. Well, we've got Rob Huey locked in. We have another little
I'm going to be
boyfriend. We have another little actor boyfriend that's not sure if he's participating.
Oh. Well, I'll be there and I'll be just jacking off.
Fuck yeah. Do it on stage, dude. Go full Jim Morrison. Make him watch.
And I'll be in all black and I'll definitely show chest hair.
Do you want me? I'll try to orchestrate a stack of crab cakes.
Maybe I'll just introduce everybody with a just kind of looks like a gray titty, doesn't it? That's a nipple. That's the nipple.
And it's gone. Rob Huey.
And you know what? That was all me. That was all me. It didn't come from this.
I know, it's amazing. You truly, I mean, Kevin Feige, call this man, please. He's obviously a fucking superhero or a supervillain. I'll talk to you here literally very, very soon, within minutes.
Right.
But this was fun. It always.
Glad we got to do it, man. This was really cool.
This is very fun, and based on this setup, I got to get ready to talk to Janet Reno.
Reno wants to dance.
Weirdos at home. Rob Huey, I'm Sam Slade. We'll see you next time.
Adios.